the good joints. This is Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm back. So, if you are joining my channel for the first time, please hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms listed in the description below. And do me a favor and let me know that you can hear me loud and clearly and not just that motorcycle riding around. See, that's what happens when you get an Indian summer. When all of a sudden a little sunshine come running back in and everybody think it's summer again. Taking off shirts, running around, making noise for nothing. So yeah, hopefully they'll be quiet while I'm doing my show. All right, somebody said, I hope everything is doing well. Hello, Don. Greetings. Everything is going well. I just got back from out on the road. Yeah, man. Nice little trip down to Cincinnati, down and back. Had to take care of a couple things. But I'm back now, and I'm ready to get busy. Now, before I do that, I want y'all to check out this number behind me. If you're new to the show, this is a number that this way. Somebody started off crazy chick Sheena said, creepy, sleepy, or sleepy, creepy, rather. Yeah, we're going to talk about that dude in a minute. But like I said, this number behind us, 974-4607. If you text MAGA to that number, then I will confirm that you're now in Kevin's Corner, just in case some changes need to take place, or I upload something, or, just kind of keep you in the loop. Because, see, when you trips, sometimes they would take somebody's whole channel. I mean, actually was like, yo, we had a client, they demonetized their channel, and they had like they had 1 point something million subscribers. Ooh, that hurts right there. That's enough to go crazy. So I like to make sure that you guys have a way to follow me on another platform, just in case something happens here. Which brings me to my alternative channel, Stop and Think. I looked at it today, y'all. We done finally cracked 800, but we still haven't cracked 1,000. You telling me I can't get 200 more subscribers? So what I'm gonna start doing is all of my storyboarding that I do for my live show with all these clips, I'm gonna start uploading those as standalones to that channel, so that people who just want references and clips to send out, you'll have that without my commentary if you subscribe to that channel. Now, finally, my little fundraiser, y'all, is going okay. Like I said, if you guys can help out, great. The link is right below the video. It is linked straight to PayPal. It's the fundraiser. And like I said, it's like $5, but people sometimes give more. So, we got, I don't know, probably maybe 20 more days left. So if you guys can definitely help out, that'd be great. Other than that, let's get busy, man. But I got to get loose first, man. Like a what? Silverback. Go now. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. So anyway, guys, before I get started, I want to make a correction. Last live show, I opened up with a parody of this lady who was a teacher, and she was talking about her 4th grade class and getting in the closet and coming out and all that stuff. And somebody sent it to me. And you know what was crazy about that? It was so believable. Now, this was sad. We're living in a day where a parody about sending the kids in the closet, making them come out the closet and confess what they are with gender. And then the ones that didn't were punished. And this lady did such a wonderful job that I might have to have her on the show, because I've seen so many people on YouTube, on TikTok, who do stuff just like that. Just like that. Nothing about what she said even popped up to make me think, oh, well, you know what? This is a parody. Literally. I'm sitting there like, this could be absolutely real. What are you talking about? Remember the lady with the Band-Aid? Remember her? Look at this. You see this? What are my black children supposed to think when they look at this Band-Aid here that doesn't match their skin tone? Remember that lady? See, that's the type of stuff we see on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, all of that. And it's scary to say that somebody can pull off a parody, and yet at the same time, somebody will go, "Wow, that's probably believable." Parodies are supposed to be unbelievable. That's the funny part about it. But we're living in a day where it's like, man, that's actually believable. So I'm going to find out. I found her on, I think, where is it, Instagram or something like that, and I'm gonna try to get her on the show to interview her, because she was a teacher actually in California, but she left because of all of the craziness, y'all. All right, now let's get into some other craziness, but before we do that, look at this new ad, y'all.
With Trump taking a commanding lead and Bidenomics hurting American families, genius Hillary Clinton has come up with a way for Biden to win.
There needs to be a formal deprogramming of
Deprogramming of who?
Formal deprogramming of the cult members. Deprogramming of the cult members.
A brilliant plan. And here's what that would look like.
Pay attention. Joe Biden will defeat him. Biden has done an amazing job.
But there's one small problem.
What?
The basket of deplorables.
She talking about me?
Working Americans aren't idiots. And they know who's on their side.
Most of them aren't.
To American workers watching their take-home pay shrink and watching inflation destroy their family and their lives, to all of you, I have
your what?
Your back.
Thank you. USA.
Trump, and I approve this message.
And so does Kevin from Kevin's Corner. I approve that message too. Beautifully done. So once again, the left sticks their foot right down their throat because they send out Hillary Clinton, who is so pompous, so arrogant, that she would make a statement like that would allow us to use it in an advertisement. Now, if anybody got common sense and they hear language like that, deprogramming people, I mean, what you think this is, man? I don't need deprogramming. In fact, the sad part about it is when you look at society today, most of their voters, if you have a conversation with them, they either need to be deprogrammed or informed, because they don't know what the heck these people are up to and the things that they're doing and the diabolical schemes that they've been mustering up behind closed doors. And when they get exposed to the truth, they're like, what? I didn't know they were doing all of that. I know, because you've been listening to people like Hillary. You've been listening to the news saying Bidenomics is working, and that Biden has done more in his 3 years than in that. And I'm saying, But the worst ones are the ones that get mad and violent. Defend to the end. They are like, man, you crazy, and this and that. And Trump still it. Like, what's his name? Bill Maher. I saw Candace Owens on his show the other day, and they were having a civil conversation. And until Trump came up and that derangement syndrome kicked in, and that man went to pieces. She was like, surely you don't think J6 was like really dangerous to our democracy? I do. Trump derangement syndrome. And I'm saying, man, for a person that seems to be having pockets of intelligence, because at one point he was full blown Trump derangement syndrome. But after Trump left office, then all of a sudden he started having pockets of sanity. And when she brought up Trump, all of a sudden the man went to pieces. And I'm saying, he really believes that. This dude really believes that a whole bunch of people with MAGA hats and cell phones almost overthrew our democracy. And you got people out there running around believing that. Still believe Trump's a Russian agent. And yet they'll look at this guy and think that he's doing a good job. Now, you talk about some brainwashing. So here we go. Mr. Insincere / Incoherent is at it again, y'all. Listen to this mess and try not to look at that butt chin that he has out of nowhere. I ain't never seen him with the butt chin. That looks like somebody attached one big butt to his chin. So go ahead, let's see what he's talking about here. Okay, think about it.
Virtually every mass shooting, every
circumstance where a large number of people have been victimized.
Man, if you don't spit that mess out, you hear this dude virtually between him wheezing and can barely vocalize it and taking like a good 20 seconds in between each statement. How can anybody watch this and think he's doing a good job? And you know Tony blinking behind him, so scared right now, like, oh God. He's probably trying to play ventriloquist right now. Basically, you were thinking. I was thinking that perhaps. He's probably trying to play ventriloquist because he's scared to death that Joe's going to go off the rails, which he's already off. So let's finish hearing this very slow address.
I learned a long time ago that you all were in your life.
There he is again. That blank stare.
When someone's going to do something that's beyond their comprehension, they've never thought they'd have to go through.
Now see, there's the problem. He's on the plane and he's trying to go off script and he's trying to address the press. And we all know how that ends. He don't have no paper. He ain't got none of that. He can't sit there and be like, all right, Jennifer from New York Times, are you there, Jennifer? They told me to call on you. He don't have any of that. So that's the cause of this very slow response and delay. That man is fishing for something to say.
If they see someone who they think understands that maybe they're through something, not the same, but similar, it gives them some sense of hope. And I always think critical.
No, this don't give me hope. This right there makes me want to go and find the nearest place to get off the grid. Seriously, sitting there going, okay. All right, where can I go to not be seen? No drones, no nothing. Can I go and stash out there in Yosemite Park or something? Because this guy is like choke on a cough drop. 1 second. Don't let that happen to me. Y'all better stick your hands through the screen and start some CPR. They ain't gonna start getting some chest compressions if y'all see me start choking on a cough drop. Anyway. Yeah, this right here, watching him, makes me concerned. I'm seriously like, yo, man, do I need to build a cabin somewhere and get completely off the grid? Because this guy's on the wheels of steel.
Besides, sometimes when I go to these events, I stay for 3 and 4 hours to answer all their questions.
Anybody remember what he said? I don't even know what he's talking about.
And look, I'm talking, some of you have gone through a hell of a lot more than I've gone through. And a lot more than other people have gone through. And you understand. So it's just people are looking for just something to grab.
Look at that. Now, does this man strike you as someone who is sincere? That's the whole point. Fishing for words, very careful because he's, number one, probably like, I don't have the words to say, and I'm going to screw something up and I'm off the teleprompter. But two, fishing for some of the most cliche statements that don't make any sense. It doesn't make the situation better. It doesn't really coincide. What is he talking about? Some people just want something to grab hold to. Sounds like he's trying to campaign right about there. I'm here to give people hope, to reach out and hold on. And I'm saying, shut your mouth. What are you talking about? All you're doing is insulting the people who went through anything. You know you didn't go through nothing, Joe. Always trying to find the perfect words to say, but it comes across so forced and insincere that it makes me want to throw tomatoes at this dude. He's already rotten, but hey, give me some more rotten tomatoes so I can throw him. But this gets worse. I'm about to expose just how insincere and incoherent at the same time that this man is. Look at him. You see that feeble little hand?
If I can do a little bit of that, then it's worth doing. It's not for me. So.
If I could give him a little bit of hope, then it's worth doing. Give him hope how, Joe? How you giving them hope? You can't even give them a coherent statement But yet he's talking about if I could give him some hope. When I look at Joe, I feel like we are hopeless. But because I believe that America's will see at least some of its prior glory before it all gets wrapped up, it just gives me a little bit of hope. But my hope is not in this guy. You know, this guy right here discouraged me. If all I had was hope in him, I would be hopeless. Yeah, if I didn't believe in something greater than Joe Biden, if I was looking for this dude to rescue us, this man is 100% wrecking ball. That's what he is. So everything since he got in office has turned to shite, complete shite. And here he is again trying to comfort us with some hope. So here comes some more insincerity.
What about getting people out?
We're
going to get people.
Hey, you see Black Gay Drop in the back? You see Black in the back? Black Gay Drop in the back. Like, oh, okay, we gotta go. Hey, shut it down. She's scared to death right now. Now, who does this? Who steps in to tell have you ever seen Trump on the plane giving interviews? Have you ever seen anybody do that? Kayleigh McEnany or somebody? Mr. President, that's it. We got to shut it down. We got to move on. Nobody controls him when he was giving press conferences or taking questions. But yet here's Black Gay Drop in the back like, oh, God, we just made it through that last statement. I got to, Joe, we talked about you. Don't make me put this hand on you. So now everybody's scared because they're like, what is about to come out of this dude's mouth?
But I'm not going to go into any detail with you now.
All right, we got to wrap up, guys.
Operating within the rules of war that you talked about last week being so important.
Good talking, Joe.
What are you talking about?
You know,
Couldn't answer that one. I bet you John Kirby or somebody was poking him in the back with a pencil. I said, let's go. So there you have it. That was him trying to give a off-the-cuff response on the plane, which all he did was confuse me more. But then it doesn't get any better because here he is meeting with Netanyahu on the stage, perhaps falling asleep or maybe needing a ventilator or perhaps some of those paddles to bring him back because I thought he was about to go on us right here. Let's see. Here we go.
years ago, I asked the Secretary of State when he and I were working in the Senate to write something for him, and
stand by.
He said he wrote a line that I think is appropriate. He said,
Charge.
It's not we lead, not just.
What?
Well, I won't go into it. I'll wait later.
There it is. There it is. Pull that parachute. He does that all the time. Now you're telling me nothing's wrong with this guy? So there it is. He starts off with a story, and soon as his brain realizes we can't tell stories, we can't recall no details. This is bad, man. We are in bad shape. Hey, you know what you got to do, Joe? Act as if you're sensitive to the people's time. Trump never did that. No president that I've seen have ever done that. But here's Joe. Starts off with a story, and like always, you know what? Never mind. I'm not. It's two details. We got to move on. Look,
not just. Well, I won't go into it. I'll wait later.
Because you can't.
Taking too much time. But the point is,
that's not it. That's not it. Well, you are taking too much time because your sentences are broken down into 20-second intervals, not sentences, but words. See, we're not talking about a 20-second break between sentences. We're talking every word. Hello. My name is creepy, sleepy, sleazy. Mr. President, sloppy. Joe. So now, that's a problem. You are taking a lot of time, but not because you're trying to tell a story. You can't recall that story. Okay, that's his problem. And look at Netanyahu looking at him like, this is a complete idiot right next to me.
This, I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though
looking down at the
by the other team, not you. But there's a lot of people out there who are not sure.
I would love to be a fly on the wall inside of Netanyahu's head. I know he wants to jump across that table and start choking creepy. I can't believe you guys got to put this guy in office right here. So you hear Creepy talking about the other team and all of that stuff. Now, if I'm Israel, I feel like I'm on a solo mission right now with that guy. I'm like, we can't rely on him. He can barely vocalize what he's trying to get across right there. So he's shaking his head like, whatever. But let's see how he wraps this one up, because he's about to give us all some words of encouragement, y'all, from the heart.
So we got to overcome a lot of things. And it also means encouraging, life-saving capacity to help the Palestinians who are innocent.
Here we go. Here we go. Look, blinking. Get over here. Guess what? Over.
We will
You see that? Did that man look like he's the man in charge? Look at this. Where I go? Look at blinking. Man, are we living in a movie? Are we living in bizarro world? I cannot believe this happened to our country. I just can't. I mean, did they hate Trump that much to put this dude in office? Blinken is like, get over here. We going this way. But trying to make it look very discreet. Trying to make it seem like, oh, no. I didn't. Man, all of this screams out that this man is so demented that they have to watch him 24/7. I'm pretty sure somebody watches him when he's sleeping. Here we go. Look. Where am I going? This way.
NATO ally.
Wait,
we will defend every inch of NATO which the treaty requires and calls for.
What?
We'll have something that we do not seek. Make it clear, we do not seek. We do not seek to have American troops fighting in Russia.
What? Did you hear that? His brain looked like it hurts. His whole face looks like he's in pain. We do not seek. That looks like it hurts. Because listen to what he just said. He's trying to read the teleprompter, and this is what we got. And Russia, Hamas supposed to fear him.
We will defend every inch of NATO which the treaty requires and calls for. We'll have something that we do not seek. Make it clear, we do not.
Something that we do not seek. Wait, let me make it clear.
Not seek. We do not seek to have American troops fighting in Russia or fighting against Russia.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I am so embarrassed right about now. I really want to be like, all right, man, because somebody send a message to all the other countries on the globe and let them know that he doesn't represent the best of America. We don't know how. We just as shocked as y'all are. That's what we are. We have no idea how this man. Well, we do. We know what took place. We all lived it. But it's amazing that the vast majority of Americans let that happen. And now that it's being manifested through all of this crap we're watching, you would think there would be outrage on a mega scale to never let this happen again. But because we got so many zombies walking around the country, they don't even know he's this bad. They have no idea that this guy's doing stuff like what we're about to watch.
It will come when the memory of your loved one will bring a smile to your lips.
A smile.
Bring a smile to your lips.
Smile to your lips. As he hacks up some phlegm on his hand. A smile to your lips. So now y'all hear that? He's being sincere. He's trying to encourage people. Talk about the day will come when smile from your lips. So let's just go ahead and see how sincere this speech is, how spontaneous and from the heart it is.
Before it brings a tear to your eye, the day will come.
Whoa, there it is again.
When the memory of your loved one
Different setting.
brings a smile to your lips. Smile to your lips.
Whoa.
Smile to your lips.
Whoa.
Smile to your lips.
How many times
Smile
are you
to
gonna use
your
that?
lips. Smile to your lips. Smile to your lips. Smile to your lips. Before it brings a tear to your eye.
Wait a
Tear to
minute.
your eye. Tear to 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 your eye. And the day will come when the memory of that person or those persons bring
Let
a
me guess.
smile to your
Smile
lips
to your
before
lips.
it brings a tear to your
Tear
eye.
to your eye. You think that man's sincere? He used that same statement in all those different applications. Now, why am I supposed to feel special? If I come to get, somebody pass in my family and they eulogizing my family, and then I somebody else die and I go to their funeral and he's ripped off the same sermon, same word for word. I'm going, I thought I was special. I thought you was like tailoring that for my situation. But nope, he recycled that mess. Smile from your lips, and day will come. Day will come. Day will come. Day will come. That's unbelievable. I'm glad these people put these montages together so it shows just how insincere, how fake these politicians are. So hopefully the next person sitting in a crowd after a tragedy takes place and this bum goes out there and talks about the day will come. Let me guess. I will be the guy in the audience. Let me guess. When a tear from my eye, smile from my lips, but it ain't over though. He got another signature statement.
That's when you know. When a smile comes to your lips before a tear to your eye, that's when you know. Some of you still have that feeling like you've been sucked into a black hole. 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 Black hole.
Y'all hear that new jam by Joe? The new jam by Joe. Black hole. Black hole. Black hole. Black hole. Black hole. How many black holes can there be? I mean, you don't think anybody would go back through the archive of speeches and say, why is this man using this statement in so many applications? Could it be because he's a raggedy, stinking politician that is not sincere and he's just going out there saying stuff to try to move the emotions of the people? What is he talking about? The black hole within your heart. Always. Black hole, black hole.
You're being sucked into it. To those who are grieving, a child, a parent, a spouse, a sibling, a friend.
Let me guess.
I know.
Black hole.
You feel like there's that black hole in the middle of your chest. You feel like you're being sucked into it.
I feel like I'm being sucked into it right now. Listening to you, creepy. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm being sucked into a black hole of nothing but craziness right now. This is unreal, man. Black hole, black hole, black hole. Smile on your lips, smile on your lips. Unreal. Nothing about what that man said is sincere, and most of it was not coherent. But hey, he's not in this alone. Here's his partner in crime, y'all.
A strike by thousands of UAW members against the big three automakers is putting a spotlight on the gap between executive and worker pay.
That's not good.
On day 2 of the strike, auto workers are back on the picket lines, and both sides are back at the negotiating table.
So who we sending out
Nearly
there?
13,000 workers walked off the
What
job
Democrat
Friday,
we sending?
demanding higher pay, a shorter work week, and a return of pensions.
There's some people here that are $17 an hour.
Show them. Send one of the best Democrats out there to show them that we all down for the people and the workers and all of that stuff. Send somebody who would definitely represent the best of the Democrats. Dang on it. I want these people to realize that the Democrat Party got their back. Okay? So let's go ahead. Let's see who they sent. Let's see if they sent their best.
I mean, even strike pay is probably almost equal to what they're bringing home.
They're getting backup from politicians like Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman.
Who? They sent him? They sent Shrek down there?
My name is John Fetterwoman.
Don't send him for backup. If I was down there, that would only discourage me. If that guy rode up on the scene. Unbelievable. So they sent John Fetterwoman down there to encourage these workers and tell them that he's got their back and stuff.
Who drove his Bronco to the Ford factory.
Drove his what? He drove his what? His Bronco? I would have thought that big for nothing guy right there would be in a Prius. I mean, all the climate change and all of that stuff. What are you doing driving a Bronco? Huh, big boy? That's what I want to know. Why are you driving a Bronco? So now we got a big fat Shrek riding in a Bronco all the way down there to talk to these people. And I'm thinking, are you leaving a carbon footprint all over the place? Huh? Yeah, I thought you would have taken a moped. You remember those? Got a pedal at the same time? Yeah, putting more work in pedaling than the engine. So here he is down there with his big old Bronco that he done left all kind of stuff lingering in the ether. And he's about to encourage these workers. That's what he's about to do.
Wayne, Michigan, to join the picket line.
Hey, how you doing? All right. My message to the CEOs is, at $74 million, collectively earning that, how many yachts can they need, the yacht, the water.
Wait a minute. Wait. This is going off the rails. This train has jumped the tracks. This is the same man who just went on late night TV and said that they're not sending the best up to Washington. Somebody said the mustache is too heavy. He do have the old school 1970s cop mustache right there. But here he is now. The guy who said that Washington is not sending their best and all of that mess. And now he's trying to say something that involves a yacht and some water skis or jet skis or something. I don't know how we got to the ocean on a yacht with some jet skis, but hey, maybe it all come together.
Ski behind it. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. You know, I don't understand it.
What?
It's $74 million, you know, collectively earning that. You know, how many yachts can they need, to yacht, to water,
Democrats, man. That man is hurting just like Joe Biden. Why are you doing, I mean, it's unreal. But it goes to show what the Democrat Party can get away with. And it's because their folks are not holding them accountable. I would be, now we got some raggedy behind Republicans, don't get me wrong, but nothing like this. We got moral issues going on with our Republicans. This right here is on a whole nother level. These are mental issues. You got, not just him. He at least got an excuse. He had a stroke. But then you have many Democrats that haven't had no stroke, but just as dumb. Just sounds worse than this dude sometimes. Hank Johnson is one of them. I could just go down the list. But this is what they produce. So now he's out here talking about jet skiing behind a yacht and $70 million somehow. I don't know how this is all applicable, but hey, you know. Now maybe he want to go ahead and give up his big fat Bronco that I'm pretty sure costs a pretty penny as he's riding up there to talk to them about yachts and jet skiing.
Ski behind it. You know, I mean, it's just crazy.
What in the hell is he talking about?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Oh.
And remain steadfast in our commitment that Iran must never acquire a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
Now, it has to involve our institutions.
What?
And drive creative new partnerships.
Run that back.
Let me be clear.
Come again?
It has to involve our institutions.
After seeing that, I ran, oh, look at President Biden. Okay, fire up the reactors. Don't worry. He's in charge. He's no good. He's blew out. Don't worry. Yes. More reactors, more uranium. That's exactly what happened. As this man got up there, Iran can never get a nuclear weapon. Institutions. You think that scared them? Do you think they said, oh man, we better back down? He sounds sincere like Trump. And this guy right there, that's a sincere threat we got to take seriously. Or did they say, fire up the reactors? I would have been like, oh man, move the troops closer. This is what Israel is looking at. And I'm sure they're going, we ain't got no backup. We ain't got no backup. With that guy out there saying stuff that we don't know. It was just like, it's just sound like that. But hey, let's go ahead and finish hearing this guy who's very eloquent and sincere. And is supposed to be taken seriously as he just gave us a bunch of goobity-gop.
I want to be clear and consistent. Look, nobody likes having celebrated
Oh, come on, Joe.
international meetings.
Okay, man. Is he dying? Somebody get the adrenaline shot. Look. Nobody. He just went bang on us again. Look. Nobody likes celebrating. He went bang on us again, man. So now here he is, about to kick the bucket on stage. Barely can get a breath. Need an adrenaline shot. Maybe some nose candy to pull him up out of this. But boy, painful to watch.
If you don't know what you want at the meeting, if you don't have a game plan, he may have a game plan.
Say what?
He just hasn't shared it with me.
Wow.
But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
Jesus, man. Yeah, please do. Please do. Sound like you went to bed right there in the middle of the speech. Look. Nobody likes. What? Oh. I'm going to bed. Yes, please do. I thought you were already in bed. So he probably don't even remember that speech right there. That sounds horrible. That man sounds like he's about 3 days away from kicking the bucket. And he's out there trying to threaten people and give us words of encouragement. And here he is, I guess, talking about global warming. Now, we're going to dismount with the dumbest thing. This burned me up for him to even say something this stupid.
The only existential threat humanity faces,
Only existential threat.
more frightening than a nuclear war, is global warming going above 1.5 degrees in the next 10 years.
Did you hear that?
We're in real trouble. There's no way back from that.
You hear that? That man just got on somebody's stage and said the only existential threat that the world faces right now that is greater than the threat of nuclear war is global warming in the next 10 to 20 years. I don't even know what to say to that one. Nuclear war ends us immediately. Ends us immediately. And you got us on the verge of it right now, Joe. Right now. You think if nuclear holocaust happens, fallout happens, you think that the climate might be affected a little bit? Huh? Say, climate's ripped up. Nuclear war happens. Ripped up. It's done. No electric cars is bringing it back. No fossil fuels. We're not drilling anymore, so we're going to get the radiation cloud out of here. And yet that fool just got up there and said that global warming is greater than the threat of nuclear war. I don't even know how to respond to that. So now, what burns me up about this is that these politicians, thank you, somebody said they just subscribed. These politicians that are pushing this whole thing about global warming, they're using their office to be salesmen. That's what they are. See, you always have to stop and think. If all of them are pushing this, is it really because they fear global warming, climate change, or are they trying to sell you something? And if they're trying to sell you something, what are they getting for it? See, we used to seeing salesmen and women show up high, ding, hey, how you doing? Have you ever heard of this new product? We're used to seeing salesmen come on late night. Have you ever wondered why your feet looks like this? If so, we're used to that. We used to advertisements on TV and stuff like that. But when it shows up in the package of somebody who you think is looking out for your livelihood, supposed to be looking out for the country, supposed to be protecting the country, you don't catch it. You don't stop to think for a second like, wait a minute, what if they're selling me something? What if people said, hey, we'll help you guys out if you help us out. Here's what we're trying to do down the road, okay? Now, we need you guys to sell it. We want y'all to play the role of salesmen and women. Sell it, even if you have to use fear to do it. It's no different than if you think your roof is going to fold up in the next 5 years, then you might want to get, that's all it is. You know, if you worry about rickets, then you might want to look into 95% of people with rickets. All he's doing is selling whatever Green New Deal that he wants to sell that somebody else wants him to sell. And every other Democrat politician that gets on board with this and tries to push electric cars, they try to push all of these other things that's going to make you have to redesign your whole crib, give up your comfort and give up your trucks and stuff. Then why? Who's benefiting? You're forcing us to move in a direction. You're forcing the market to move in that direction, and you're using politicians to do it. For that man to get up there and to say that global warming is a greater threat than nuclear war, what you're saying is buy now. That's what you're doing. If you ever worried about global warming, you need to buy now. Because just in 10 years right now, if you don't buy, then we're going to... That's unbelievable that he would say that. And he didn't even stop to think like, man, how irresponsible is this? How unrealistic is this? How many years they've been saying that California was going to break off, and how many years they say acid rain was going to burn us up and all of this stuff. And you want us to change our whole way of living overnight by scaring us into thinking that this is a greater threat than nuclear war. He is dumpster juice. 100% uncut, pure dumpster juice in every way possible. Every way possible. Unreal. Somebody said 81 million votes. Yeah, right. Reverse that number to 18. So let's see. What's going on there? Whoa, whoa, whoa. No wonder China is winning. Y'all, after watching that, I see why. I see why. Notice China wasn't winning until he got back in. Once he got back in, they start winning. We need Joseph Biden back on the wheels of steel so Xi can finally win. So now Joe gets back in and China starts to win. Unreal. But look at this. Somebody's fighting back, y'all. And I love it.
2 Chinese individuals were just arrested in Manhattan for allegedly running a secret Chinese police department in New York. What they would do is they would intimidate Americans, hunt down and spy and silence critics of the Chinese Communist Party in places as far away as California. And they operated their police department, quote unquote, in the Chinese district within Manhattan and would end up taking busloads of Chinese to Washington, D.C. to counter-protest anti-Chinese demonstrators and offering to pay them $50 each. At least it wasn't yen. That's how far the splinter cell went to combat anti-Chinese information, and the FBI warns that there might be a lot more of these splinter cells.
Now look at this mess. Look at this mess that we done got ourselves in because, you know, we're open and receptive and we want to become a melting pot and stupidity is the motivation of becoming. This is unreal. So now by opening up our borders and bringing in all these Chinese and trying to act like we're, you know, receptive and we're inclusive and we're not, we just open ourselves up to danger, stupidity. And now this man right here has to come out and explain the real threat and danger that we face from China.
China owns and controls almost 192,000 acres of farmland right here in the United States. Chinese ownership is of particular concern in owning our farmland. First, foreign investors from China are under the total and absolute control of the Communist Chinese government. Second,
why in the heck are we even allowing them to buy up any land in our country? This right here shows just how paid and bought our politicians are. How dumb can you be to let a foreign actor like China, who is constantly trying to see just how far they can push it when it comes down to the U.S., and you're selling them our land? No, you're selling us out. That's what you're doing. There's no way in the world they should be able to purchase 1 grain of land in the United States. I mean, how dumb can we get? How dumb? We have opened ourselves up to so much mess in the United States that to clear it out, we would have to look like the most racist, most misogynistic, most dang on what's the other one? The not misogynistic. What do they always say when you don't allow? Dang, they got so many isms. Not fashion. Dang it. What's when they don't want the people to come in? Xenophobic. Thank you. There we go. All right, I got that one on myself. Good job, Kev. Xenophobic. We would look like the most xenophobic country on the globe. Because the only way to really clear this mess up is you got to go through and say, all right, look, sorry about this, guys, but we need every Chinese person in the United States who wasn't born here to leave. Go back home. Till we clear this up. We don't trust your leader. We don't know if you're loyal to him or not. And if you're here and you're not a natural born citizen, then we have to assume you're probably loyal. So I'm sorry, you got to go. I don't care. Don't look that way at us. You'll call us what you want. Call us what you want, but they got to go. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but when you're dealing with such a threat, and these people are very crafty, the leaders of China are so crafty, and they got such a stronghold on their people, that you best believe anybody who buys up anything in China has to be also loyal to China's government. They wouldn't even let them come over here and start doing that unless there was a ulterior motive to it.
That government has become increasingly hostile towards America, from military threats to cyber attacks to rampant intellectual property theft to spy balloons. And from a military standpoint, it is alarming that China now controls farms near critical military installations like Grand Forks Air Force Base in North Dakota and Laughlin Air Force Base in Texas.
How dumb can you go? Can you go down low? How dumb can we get? No, we don't have an ulterior motive. We just want to buy the land right next to the military base. Trust me, we won't be spying on you. Do you think that? Do you think they're buying up that land to just grow some crops and stuff, some rice fields? No, this is unreal that we're doing this, man. So finish telling us, brother, what else the Chinese done did?
Now, Texas lawmakers are getting hit with outrage over their willingness to move a bill that would ban Chinese citizens from purchasing new land. Chinese citizens who may be loyal to their country. China has become a major problem for the world, and the United States' interests shouldn't be harmed to make people feel better.
You hear that? So, in other words, go ahead. Here's a tissue for your issue if you feel that Texas saying that no more purchasing land in Texas is xenophobic. Here's a tissue for your issue. It's no time to be sensitive to a whole bunch of our darn liberals and naive people, because China is taking advantage of, number one, the greed of our politicians, and number two, the naivety of many of our completely peanut head, bubblehead citizens who think by making sure you do everything you have to do to keep the homeland safe is xenophobic. You're just doing that because you're just stereotyping them and not all. And I'm going, if you can't figure out who's good and who's bad, you got to err on the side of caution. I'm sorry. If I got a whole house full of my family members, kids and all of that, and somebody show up knocking on my door talking about I'm in trouble, my car broke down, can I come in and make a phone call? No, I'm sorry, you can't do that. Tell you what you can do, though. Back up from the door, okay? All right, let me look around and see if you got some homeboys out there. In fact, I might have the kids upstairs. All right, kids, what do you see with the scope? I'm not letting you in the crib. Here's what I'm going to do. Give me the number you want me to call. So where you going, man? Where you going? Stay still. I'll make the call, and then I'll tell them, yeah, he's on the block of whatever, but you're not coming in my crib. I don't care if I have 5 people in my family. Well, Dad, you're xenophobic. You know what? I can't believe you're just going to stereotype that person. You don't know if he's a criminal or not. Now, if I'm dumb enough to say, well, I'm going to let them guilt me or bully me into letting this stranger into the crib, and next thing you know, we're all in the basement with Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion on his skin or else he gets the holes again. I don't want that, man. I don't want the holes again. So I'm not letting it happen. You can whine about it all you want. Same thing. I hope Texas does exactly what Huckabee did, y'all. Woo! We got folks fighting back against China since Joe's not doing it. Listen to Huckabee.
Announcing that Syngenta, a Chinese state-owned agrochemical company, must give up its land holdings in Arkansas. Syngenta owns 160 acres in northeast Arkansas, which it uses primarily for seed research. The company that owns Syngenta, Kim China, is also on the Department of Defense's list of Chinese military companies posing a clear threat to our state. Seeds are technology. Chinese state-owned corporations filter that technology back to their homeland, stealing American research and telling our enemies how to target American farms. That is a clear threat to our national security and to our great farmers, especially since the Chinese government enacted a law in 2017 requiring Chinese citizens abroad to collaborate with their country's security officials on intelligence work with no questions asked.
So now here's my question. Why is Sarah Huckabee the only governor that's doing this? Every governor in the United States should be coming out and making this speech right here. Every one of them. In fact, Creepy Sleepy should be coming out making that speech right here. The same country that dropped the dang on virus on us. And yet you got them running around our country, buying up property, doing business. They shouldn't even be able to do business here. We had them on the ropes when Trump was in office. And then you get these dummies to get back in and they let them off the hook. They let Iran off the hook. North Korea off the hook. Probably several other countries that we had on the ropes. All we had to do is just tap them. That we had the border on the ropes, meaning we were stopping folks from coming across that mug. Cartel on the ropes. Business was horrible under Trump. And what did the Biden administration do? Came in, all right, you're good to go, cartel. Just keep sending us illegal immigrants and we'll deal with the fentanyl as it comes. We had all of these countries on the ropes. Even Russia. not necessarily on the ropes, but Russia was contained. Russia was like, hey, man, we just here, just don't come and invade us. Y'all do business, we do business. I don't want no beef. Everything was chill. Now everything is just whacked. So now here's Sarah making a speech that I would assume every politician, including the White House and Creepy Sleepy, should be making. She's pointing out we got foreign actors on our soil land buying up our property and using it against us.
This isn't about where you're from. We welcome Chinese Americans, Russian Americans, and anyone else who's given up foreign oppression for American freedom.
That's right.
This is about where your loyalties lie. We simply cannot trust those who pledge allegiance to a hostile foreign power.
Sarah.
That's why I signed Act 525, sponsored by Representative McKenzie and Senator Boyd, to ban Chinese and Russian-made drones. And it's why I signed Act 758, sponsored by Representative McElendon and Senator Stubblefield, banning public contracts with the CCP. We will make sure that every company operating in Arkansas is a friend to Arkansas and good to hardworking Arkansans. Secretary Ward has already notified Syngenta about this decision. If they refuse to sell, our Attorney General can move forward with legal proceedings and force them to get out of our state.
Get y'all butts out. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, y'all. Woo! Well, China, why you do me this way? I'll be back on my feet one day. Kick China out. I'm loving it. Now, this is an American / Arkansas first governor. That's what I expect out of a leader. Always looking out for the American people first. Not your pockets, not the big lobbyists. And China seeks out corrupt behind politicians that will take bribes and overlook the danger that they're putting Americans in. And she ain't done yet. She about to strike twice.
Arkansas will always protect our farmers and our national security interest.
Huck strikes twice?
It's great to stand up here with some of the most influential and amazing women from across our state. We are all here to say, frankly, that we've had enough. Enough trying to erase women and girls, enough denying our biological differences from men, and enough of the craziness that is taking over our country.
Somebody clone Huck. Somebody clone Huckabee right now. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you fight the culture war, the nonsense. All of our governors, all of our conservative governors, if they had this approach, they would stump out a lot of this nonsense. If they just took this approach, they would be surprised at how many people in the state is going, thank you. I don't care if these liberal states that are S-hole ran states and cities looking at us saying, you know what, they're over there in Ohio, they're white nationalists / xenophobes and transphobes. I don't care. Call us whatever you want. Don't care, man. Let y'all go ahead and liberalize y'all state into oblivion. I don't care what you call us. We're not going to accept y'all shoving this crap down our throat, bullying us or trying to shame us into accepting this nonsense.
I've had the honor of being both the first woman and the first mother to serve as the governor of Arkansas. Before that, I was the first mother and the third woman to serve as the White House press secretary. Because of that, I came into this role with a few pretty unique experiences. Among them is giving birth to 3 amazing kids.
Wait a minute. I'm sure your husband could have did that too, Huck. I mean, he just gave it over to you. You know what? I'm going to let you take this one. I'll let you feel this one, Sarah. That's what I'm going to do. Because according to the crazy behind left, you're just a birthing person. It could have went either way. One of y'all could have got pregnant. Either one of you. Yeah, it's a 50-50 crap shoot. All right, I must draw the short straw because I'm pregnant, honey. What? Yeah, I'm pregnant. I was hoping it would be you, but I got the ugly end on this deal. Did you know it works both ways? You didn't know that? See, that's how insane things are. That's why in the beginning of my show where I said that parody was actually believable, it's because of nonsense. You will hear people get on TV, on the internet, and will say things like that. Yeah, well, can men get pregnant? Well, yeah, I guess they can. How? Look, you know what? You're a xenophobe. You're a homophobe. That's what it'll come down to. But here she is now saying that she got pregnant, y'all. Can you say that? She's declared she's a woman.
That experience underscored to me that a woman's perspective is important and fundamentally different from a man's.
Well, look at that. Well, look at that. Who would have ever thought that women's perspectives were 100% different than men? Who would ever thought that? All you got to do is observe them for a few minutes. All you got to do is listen to a conversation between women and men. You hear two women talking, whole different conversation. They'll be up there and the girl said, you know what? So when my boss came in, he was like, what, maybe 9:15. He came in and he looked at me real strange, you know? And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I've been doing all this stuff and you don't even respect me and this and that. What, girl? He did what? You know what? How'd that make you feel? How many times you ever heard a guy ask his buddy that? That conversation with two guys would go totally different. Man, my boss ticked me off today. What? Yeah, man, it was crazy. Man, that's crazy, dude. Anyway, what's up, man? What we about to do? That's it. We're filling all the blanks. Men view life differently, and there's some overlap. And women view it differently, and there's some overlap. And if they think that there's no difference, all you got to do, if men were honest, just ask yourself, if you dropped a man in a large group of women, would that man feel anybody in that crowd was a threat? The only time he might think that if a woman has a full-blown weapon and is showing obvious aggression towards him, but most men will operate in that crowd completely confident that there's not a threat. It could be 20, 30 women. And he's like, I'm in no danger. You throw him in a room full of 20 strange men, and immediately the testosterone level goes up. And he starts looking around like, okay, if any of these dudes right here is a potential threat, what can I do with them? It's a different mentality. Your whole mentality just goes down when a man's dealing with a woman from a threat position because you recognize her physical capabilities are so different that unless she blindsides me with a 2x4, am most likely under no danger. But guys, immediately you're looking around like, all right now, don't start no mess. See, and if women were honest, they would feel more safe if they were with somebody, a man that they're like, this dude, he can rip a telephone book in half. I can relax a little bit at the dining table right here because I got a grown man sitting across from me. But if you got creepy sitting across, or you got some dude with some pink and purple hair and some camel toe shoes and some shotgun holes in his ear, bone through his nose, you might be concerned then. Talking about, you know what, I was thinking about giving birth next year for you, honey. What do you think about that? You should be scared. Let's continue.
Nowadays, though, only conservatives seem to be making that point. On the left, women have taken a backseat to political correctness. It's why Senator Irving and Representative Barker had to pass the Fairness in Women's Sports Act to defend our girls across the state. They're using nonsense words to erase women and girls, and more importantly, to erase our voices and our experiences. Yeah. Today, we're taking a stand against woke nonsense. But frankly, started as a fad among a few grad students, has seeped down into corporations, the healthcare industry, and increasingly state government. It's demeaning to women, and it needs to stop. In a moment, I'll sign an executive order banning a number of all sorts of ridiculous words from state government documents. Those include words like pregnant people, laboring person, birth giver, and several other nonsense terms that have cropped up in recent years.
Oh my God, I love her. I love her. Remember back in the day, you could say mailman, mankind, the humankind now, mail carrier, mail person. Unbelievable. So now Sarah just straight up like, we ain't gonna tolerate this mess. I tried to entertain it, but I can't do it. Y'all should have left this on campus amongst some crazy dudes smoking wacky weed. Hey, dude, you know what'd be funny, man? If, we come up with a new concept called, should have left it right there. But y'all let it seep into society and then trying to act like this is a serious thing that we got to change up our whole society with. I'd be sensitive to pronouns when people, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Thank you, Sarah, for setting the standard that every single conservative governor should have.
Some on the left will accuse us of being nitpicky.
So?
Arkansas should just lay down and accept the cultural revolution without complaint. I say it's the exact opposite. It's the left that decided that woman is a dirty word. It's the left that decided we needed to toss out basic biology and basic grammar along with it. I think they're just mad that conservatives are starting to fight back. And they better get ready because we're just getting started. Thank you for being here, and thank you to the amazing women that are standing up here with me.
Yes! Did y'all hear that? We're not gonna take it. Sarah said it. We're not gonna take it. Thank you, Sarah Huckabee, for fighting back against China and this woke culture nonsense. Now, we're gonna close, y'all, with some other woke culture nonsense that led to something horrific. And I mean horrific. George Floyd was not murdered by the cop. Did y'all know that? He wasn't murdered by the cop. Come here. We got to keep this amongst ourselves, because if this gets out, this will destroy society as we know it. Yeah, man. See, this is one of them secrets, like, you know, you hear about the Vatican has to make sure that things are secret, because if it got out, it would destroy the whole faith in religion, something like that. This is how serious this is, man. So George Floyd wasn't killed, but can we say that? Can we talk about that? Let's see what happened, because Tucker had the nerve to come out and spread this rumor. Or is it a fact? Here we go. Another lie.
Now that we know that it was not, in fact, a pandemic of the unvaccinated, now that we know that Ukraine is not actually winning the war against Russia, it could be time to revisit.
Wait a minute, Tucker. Don't stop there. So wait. The virus was created in a lab, and Fauci helped, and Ukraine's losing, and what else? We got a whole bunch of other fake narratives. The climate change is an existential threat, and all of that stuff. All of these things that they've been telling us. So now that we know this, Trump's a Russian agent, all of that stuff we done found out, what else are they lying to us about, Tucker?
Is it some of the other slogans we've been assured are true and ordered to repeat? Are they in fact true? Did, for example, a racist white cop actually murder a man called George Floyd, a civil rights leader, in Minneapolis?
Tucker, man, with the subtle sarcasm. I couldn't have done it better myself. So, yeah, that's the rumor. So, he said a civil rights leader. Did y'all know that? Because that's how they're treating this man. It is unreal. And I hope history will one day reveal really who these people are worshiping. The person that they use to springboard our society in chaos. That guy. I hope that one day history paints him in the right picture, because he's no hero. And Nasty Pelosi gets up there. Thank you, George Kirby, for your sacrifice. God.
Plus on Memorial Day of 2020. Now, we've been told that happened, told it relentlessly for more than 3 years.
Yeah, that's what they've been saying.
So at this point, we've been told it so much that pretty much everybody seems to believe it. And because everyone does kind of believe it, a small group of people has been allowed to make massive changes to American society.
Like what?
They include, but are not limited to, decriminalizing stealing, defunding the police, adding a new federal holiday to the calendar called Juneteenth, the ceasing of hiring all white men in corporate America, and of course, significantly, they also sent a cop called Derek Chauvin to prison for more than 40 years.
And not to mention, Tucker launched Black Lives Matter, the Marxist organization that have wreaked havoc on our society that Coca-Cola just recently denounced. They quietly removed them off of all of their stuff. Okay, they're crazy. Nobody told us about this. You did? We just didn't listen? Oh, we were also caught up with the whole... So all of this crap started because of George Floyd and the so-called white nationalist cop that choked him right on that curb, y'all. So you think after all of these people rushed to judgment that this man was going to get a fair trial? When you got Mad Maxine down there outside the courthouse, listen, we are expecting a guilty verdict and nothing less. Because if it's anything less than that, then I suggest that we all... You think that man's going to get a serious dang on, trial? No, he was done. Day one. As soon as the picture came out, it was like, oh, God, he's done.
He would be the racist white devil who murdered George Floyd. But the question is, did he actually murder George Floyd? And the answer is, well, no. He didn't murder George Floyd. We're not guessing about
that's
that.
The rumor, though.
We know it conclusively thanks to a new court case now underway in Hennepin County, Minnesota. The case was brought by a prosecutor there called Amy Sweezy. She's suing her boss. So the case is not actually about George Floyd or Derek Chauvin, but it tells you an awful lot about both of them.
How, Tucker?
In her deposition, which you should read, Amy Sweezy describes a conversation that she had with the county medical examiner, Andrew Baker, right after George Floyd died. Quote, I called Dr. Baker early that morning to tell him about the case and to ask him if he would perform the autopsy on Mr. Floyd.
Okay.
Sweezy recalls all this under oath in the deposition. Quote, he called me later in the day on that Tuesday, and he told me that there were no medical findings that showed any injury to the vital structures of Mr. Floyd's neck. There were no medical indications of asphyxia or strangulation.
What? Now, how are they going to square that? How are they going to get all of their minions to run around and destroy cities and blame it on Trump if this information came out? How in the world are they going to get these organizations to receive all of this Democrat donation money coming in? How are they going to set up those 3 wicked witches to run Black Lives Matter to steal all that money and embellish? Dang on it, I forget the word. I always forget that word. But anyway, it drives me crazy because that one word, it just runs, I think, embellish. But anyway, what do you call it? Where you steal money? Come on, guys. I'm not moving on until you guys come up with that word. Come on, I'm waiting. Come on. We'll move faster if you come up with the word I'm looking for. What? Embezzle. Yeah, Laurie, who came up with that? Let me see. I don't know why I keep thinking embellish. All right, Rain Beats, you win a thumbs up. There you go. Too bad I don't have gifts to give away. Yeah, embezzlement. Embezzlement. All of that crap. So these people were allowed to wreak havoc on our country. Now we find out, of course, they are exactly what we thought they were. A Marxist, organization who hates our country and supported by all of these people. And it all started, with, actually it started with Michael Brown. But then, you get to George Floyd and they got a license to ill like never before. Like never before. Never in my life have I seen riots take place like what took place when he so-called was murdered by this white nationalist cop. To see cities burn like I saw and to see police officers have to sit back and watch it. Sit back and watch it. Like, man, see, they burning down our whole station. To see that, and yet to find out that this man was not murdered, there'll be a lot of eggs on faces.
Oh. In other words, George Floyd, according to the official autopsy, was not murdered. What? He died instead of what we used to call natural causes, which in his case would include decades of drug use, as well as the fatal concentration of fentanyl that was in his system on his final day.
Oh, so he brought it on himself, Tucker? Is that what you're telling me? Like most of the time, where folks get killed by police officers, most of the time you'll find that they brought it on themselves. But no, we can't let that come out, can we? Because we got the Democrats salivating at the mouth to push some racism and to demonize the police. Let's think. We had Michael Brown, who got himself shot, and Jesse the Jackson goes down there and says, before any details, this here was an assassination. And then they tore up the whole city. Remember that, huh? Yeah. Only to find out that this man attacked the cop in the car before he could even get out. And the cop shot him through his hand and then a couple warning shots. And he turns, looks at the cop. You gonna shoot me? Starts running at the cop full speed. He wasn't on his knees going, please, officer, don't shoot me. Hands up, don't shoot. His buddy lied and said, no, he didn't do that. But you know what? They never followed up with the results of that trial. See, I wonder why. Why did I have to go back and watch the trial to find out the verdict? Because I started thinking to myself, hey, wait a minute, man. They tore up a whole city for Michael Brown. And Black Lives Matter was started for him. Whatever happened to that cop? Glad I went back and looked. The cop was found innocent because Michael Brown got his butt shot. And you got folks on TV going, where was you, Michael Brown? all over the news. We're with you, Mike around. All of that mess. Then so many others got themselves killed, and yet they tear up cities, burn down stuff, and it's all encouraged by the left, all encouraged by the Democrat Party. And once they start committing to tearing up stuff, and once they start committing to the whole narrative that white nationalist cops are killing black people, you can't retract that. Now it's blood in the water. They need some flesh. And it's unbelievable. Somebody said my new favorite channel. Thank you so much. I'm honored. We're going to close here because this black man is going to come out and he's going to shed a little light on why they were so hush-hush about these details.
So this was not a killing.
It wasn't.
It was yet another narcotics OD in a country that records more than 100,000 of them every year. The medical examiner clearly understood that and, in fact, articulated it.
What did he say?
And Sweezy explains. He said to me, she recalls in the deposition, Amy, what happens when the actual evidence doesn't match up with the public narrative that everyone's already decided on? And then he said, quote, this is the kind of case that ends careers.
Hint, hint. In other words, I don't care what the evidence show. You do realize we just sat back and watched the whole nation go into mourning, and all of these folks run and grab a mic immediately talking about this right here is an atrocity. We can't believe they down there killing black folks like that. And this white cop, he needs to pay. And we just watch all of that. We just watched the White House weigh in on it. We just watched all of this go on. So now you telling me I got to be the bad guy? I got to come out and say, all right, everybody simmer down, okay? I just did the autopsy. This man died from drug overdose. So everybody stop, Bert, put the matches down, hey, stop, drop that. You're tearing up stuff for nothing. You think that's what the coroner was going to do? They would have fired him. His career would have been done. In fact, that's why this lady's suing, because several other prosecutors were like, man, I can't do this. We going to send this man to jail for nothing. Oh, you don't want to do my bidding? And you get Keith Ellison, the one who was smacking his girlfriend around up there in Minnesota, and nothing happened to him. No Me Too for her. No Me Too for her. All right, because she didn't want to get up and take the trash out. Ellison don't play that. Keith don't play that. Okay? You going to get up and take the trash out. And then got off on that because his own party did an investigation and found there was nothing. That guy was like, yo, find someone to prosecute this mess. Knowing that, what? He didn't die from asphyxiation? No damage to the neck? Unbelievable. So now this woman paid a price in her career and she's suing y'all. And we got a nice nugget that came out talking about, hey man, we can't tell him that. We can't tell him that, man. Our careers would be done.
In other words, everyone lied about it from the very beginning. The people who knew the truth hid the truth and allowed the revolution to proceed. Now they've been exposed. Now we know the truth. What happens next?
That's the problem.
They're going to ignore it. The Biden administration just issued a long purple statement celebrating George Floyd's birthday. He's a martyr,
you can't retract
despite
that.
the fact we know that he was not murdered. And by the way, Derek Chauvin is still languishing in jail for the...
Now, I'd be mad. We can't retract that. You got to figure, man. They got a big fat statue of this man sitting in some chair somewhere. I forget. I mean, what are you going to do with all that stuff? Huh? You have to melt it down and all of that stuff. So basically, a drug addict criminal ends up dying from a fentanyl overdose, and yet he's a hero. And they are holding him up like a hero. Nasty Pelosi thanked him for his sacrifice that he had no idea he was making. All he wanted was some drugs. And now he's like, what? I sacrificed. I would have just taken some drugs instead of all of this. But I guess, yeah, unreal. So now we got a brother who's going to come out and say a couple words about this before we go.
The rest of his life. So how do we respond to this? How do we respond to the truth once we have it?
Maybe
so
we should tear stuff up.
Stories, the origin thanks for having me, Tucker. Of COVID. Oh, it's a blessing to have you. We now know what actually happened, but the question then is, what do you do with that knowledge? We know that the U.S. government, Tony Fauci, worked with the Chinese to create.
We know all of this stuff, and they just move on.
Economy, but like, what do we do with that knowledge? What do we do with the knowledge that George Floyd was not actually strangled to death by a cop?
We have to acknowledge the people that gave it to us and why. See, George Floyd is the Democratic Party's prototypical black man.
Oh, no.
These are the black men they are trying to create. So George Floyd has to be elevated. He has to be celebrated. He's perfect to them. He was poor. He was uneducated. He was a drug addict. He didn't have a job. He was down there begging and crying and asking the white people to not kill him. To a Democrat, to a white Democrat, this is the perfect black man. So
all you black Democrat voters, wake up. Listen to this. See, they will call this guy sellout. He's an Uncle Tom listener. He should be believing lies. He should, even though all the evidence point to something else, he should still be supporting a lie. As this man is rotting away in prison because he's a sacrificial lamb. And then they also have indicted and sentenced several of the other guys that just happen to be standing there. You know how mad I would be if I'm a police officer and this information is out there? I would appeal my case immediately and use this as evidence. Unreal. So now that man looking at 40 years because George Floyd overdosed. And now this brother is coming out and he's breaking this mess down about the Democrats' strategy and approach when it comes down to keeping black people enslaved right there. That's where they are enslaved, right there. Brother, go ahead, spit this knowledge before we bounce.
he has to be elevated. Look, not a few days ago, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden celebrated hip-hop music. They had a celebration of hip-hop.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop culture is America's culture.
Oh, God. You see the Pink Panther? You see her up there trying to get a little bit of blackness in her voice. Hip-hop culture is America's culture. What happened to culture? But she's in front of a black audience, and that's what chameleons do. They adapt. They become what they got to be in front of whatever audience. Same thing with Joe Biden. I was brought up in a black church. You know, I was raised by Puerto Ricans. Did you know I'm Jewish? Yeah, it's a yarmulke sama under my toupee. Unreal. So now the Pink Panther's out there trying to put a little extra dialect in her voice, like Alexandria Cortez when she was talking to them black folks. It ain't nothing wrong with being a bartender. So here's some more panderation.
It is a genre.
It is a genre. What the heck is this? Man, I'm telling you, man. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I said, I'm trying not to hate the Democrat Party. I'm trying to find other words than hate. I'm sitting there like, okay, I strongly despise, because I want to make it to heaven, y'all. Can't go there with hate in the heart. But I'm fishing for other terms. All right, I despise them greatly to the point that I can't think of anything more that I despise than them. And so here she is up there dropping some hip-hop culture. Is the disgusting.
It is music and melody and rhyme. And hip-hop is also an ethos.
A music genre that calls the black man the N-word, calls women the W word and the B word, talks about misogyny, shooting police, smoking dope, selling dope, fighting, killing, acting a fool. They celebrated this genre. Why? Because this is how they see black America. They see us the same way they see George Floyd. Ooh. And they have to make more of us because everywhere they rule, you know, John F. Kennedy stood in front of the Berlin Wall in the 60s and said, if you think that communism is great, let them come to Berlin. Yeah. Well, if you think that the Democratic Party is great, let them come to Detroit. Let them come to Chicago. Ooh. Let them come to St. Louis. Ooh. Let them come to LA, Portland, Seattle, Memphis. Anywhere where they rule, you will see George Floyd's all over the place.
All over the place. This man ain't taking this mess. He's exposing the Democrat Party. No wonder black folks are so loyal to vote for the Democrat Party because they encourage this mess. They encourage thinking. They encourage groupthink. They encourage all of these black inner city communities to be codependent on their teat, if you will. See, so yeah, they love that. And they also are okay with the broken education because guess what? An ignorant black person can be controlled. There it is, man. We don't want you guys developing intelligence like this man. We don't want that because then you'll see through our crap. Then you'll see that when we come out and say hip-hop culture, it's a strategy. It's a plan. It's us pandering to you. It's us trying to make a false connection so you'll trust us and think that, man, they hip, man, they down with us, man, they feel me. You know what I'm saying? Drop a little saxophone on them. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Unreal. So now this guy's saying, yeah, they like them like that. They like them like that. Because this is nothing different than how they controlled a large group of slaves back in the day. Let's be real. You got my man that said we're going to have these black people voting for us. We're going to have them voting for us for the next 200 years. Woo, Lyndon B. Johnson, baby. And the strategy just switched. Let's see.
And they're proud of them. In Baltimore, Maryland, they spend $21,000 per child for every child up there inside the school district. Not one school is proficient in math, science, or reading. But they keep it going every year. Why? Because they're producing George Floyd.
But
and George Floyd's vote for the Democrat Party.
But why would, when most of us, you, me, I think all normal people look at George Floyd's life, you think this is a disaster. This guy never added anything. He took a lot in prison, at least 8 times. Yeah. I mean, his life was a tragedy at best. Why would you want more people like that?
Well, because the Democrat Party don't care about lives. They care about their own power. They don't care about the fallout when it comes down to people's lives. You think they do? If you thought that, you were wrong, because guess what? They got a big fat border that's wide open where all of these folks are endangering their lives to come here because the Democrat Party encourages it. They don't care about the kids dropped over walls and thrown in rivers and left out there in the desert and dying of heat exhaustion in the back of cars. They don't care about the women being, trafficked or, even worse. They don't care about that mess. That right there is acceptable. Yeah, they don't care about all of the fentanyl that also comes across. They don't care about the Americans that could be in danger because of terrorists coming across along with the illegal immigrants. You think they care about that stuff? No. They didn't care that they forced everybody to go in lockdowns and it would destroy a lot of the kids' development. You think they cared about them kids? You crazy, man. They didn't care about that. They don't care the fact that they shoved all these illegal immigrants in black neighborhoods and all the black folks are crying and whining right about now. But you think they care about that? Absolutely not. Yeah, they don't care that they force folks to get an experimental, and jacked a whole bunch of them up, threaten their jobs. You think they cared about that? They didn't care about leaving all those soldiers over there that got blown up in Afghanistan and all of that mess. You think they cared about any of that stuff? They don't care about the people. It's all about the party. And so by keeping black folks in these conditions, keeping them ignorant and keeping them completely loyal to the Democrat Party, it translates into power through votes. So all they see them as is votes, not people. They also see all these illegal immigrants coming across this border, not as people who are coming for a better life. No. These are potential votes. It's like in the cartoons where you see a dollar sign. Starts off with a person and then it just turns into a dollar sign. That's what they see people as. Votes. There you go. Come on. Come on. We're the melting pot. Don't forget. We brought you here. So when we get you guys to vote, vote for us. That's all it is. And this guy right here is about to school Tucker.
Because he votes for the Democrat Party.
There it
and
is.
then he teaches his children to vote for the Democrat Party.
There it is.
And then these white Democrats can feel superior to him.
Yeah. With their white privilege. See, yeah, but see, it's okay. They got white privilege, but it's different. See, it's different because, they acknowledge it. They acknowledge it. Yeah, and because Republicans and conservatives are walking around with their tails between their legs, talking about, I should whip myself on the back because I know I'm suffering from white privilege and I'm going to confess it. Since they don't do that, then, these white liberals over here, the Democrat liberals, they can sit back and point the finger and say, look at them. They're taking advantage of their white privilege and they're happy to do it. No, I just want to live my life and make a living and this and this. Now I want the white privilege. See, that's what they use. But not us, though. We're not. We're helping you black people. We acknowledge that we have white privilege. Oh, really? Well, can I have your job? No. Well, you do live in a big, nice, fancy house. How about you give up a little of that white privilege, Nasty Pelosi, so I can live in your mansion? Absolutely not, you peasant. How dare you? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I on tape? See, so that's what would happen if you really called them to the carpet on all of the garbage that they push to try to make black folks think that they love them. Y'all remember Nasty Pelosi and the Democrats came out with those dashikis looking like they just came off the set of Black Panther. Should have had an African drum band in the back. Ooh, nah. Taking a knee and her butt couldn't get off that crusty knee. All that is designed to make black folks think we're on your side, you victims that we created, you victims that we, made sure you are victims by allowing crime to run rampant in your cities. But it's not really us, it's the white man, the other white man, not us. Let's continue, brother. Take us home.
Controlled by them. Just like, think about the old slave plantation back in the day.
Go ahead.
How they wanted their slaves to act.
Yeah.
Subservient, obedient, ignorant, doing what he was told. Not asking any question.
Just like we see black folks to get on TV, and as soon as a black person get off that Democrat plantation, they do exactly what they're told. They come out like Joy Reid. You know what? The people are trying to make you think that black people are starting to vote for Trump. Well, I'm here to tell you, no. Get your butts back on that plantation. And if you decide to vote for Trump, then you're selling out your people. You're white nationalists, blah, 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 and all that stuff. They do exactly what they're told. When you try to talk to them about, hey, man, look, I can't believe, you voting for the Democrats. You're voting against your own interest. You shut up, man. I don't even want to hear it, man. Whatever you got to say, man, you go, Trump's a racist. He's a white nationalist. It's exactly what they told you to think and say. Don't even question it. Don't entertain the conversation. Don't say, yeah, man, explain it. Tell me why. Don't do that. Soon as you hear Trump's name, go on a rage. Trump's a racist, white nationalist, xenophobe, all of that stuff. That's what you're told to do. See, unbelievable. But here we go.
Having a slave mind, being dependent on them. This is how they want black men to be in America. This is how they want the whole black community to be. This is why it started in the civil rights movement. When Martin Luther King Jr. in his I Have a Green speech said, 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negro is still not free. He said 5 times in that speech that we were not free. It turned the Declaration of Independence on its head, because in our Declaration of Independence it said that our freedom was an unalienable right given us by God. John Locke in his second treatise of government said that an unalienable right is a right given from God. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable. The government cannot touch it. It supersedes law. It supersedes the Constitution. However, King said that we was coming to government and to the white man for our right to be free. Even at the end of the speech, he said, on some certain day, we'll be free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. He said in that speech, when will we be satisfied? He said, we will never be satisfied until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. That's a fancy way of saying never.
That's deep. Beautifully put. You know why? Because that's exactly what they want us to think. That is why they will never solve racism. Your Kendi X, Malcolm Jabash, X3 -7, all of that, all these people right there who's talking about racism and stuff, that right there is nothing but a grift. They know that they're not in it to try to solve racism. They want us to continually walk around thinking that we are enslaved. We still haven't reached freedom. We still got to check in and go through the white man for success. We still got to, all of that. Keep them mad, keep them feeling like victims, and make them think we're the only ones on their side. Then they will be enslaved in their mind. They will be like the elephant. And I'm going to go ahead and end with this before he gives us the last word. If you know anything about a circus and how they train elephants, you would look at that elephant that's an adult, and you would see a little rope wrapped around his foot. And you go, why is that elephant just sitting there when all he got to do is just pull slightly, snap that little rope and bounce? Well, because they got that elephant when it was little and broke it mentally. They put a chain around his ankle when it was little, and that elephant struggled and tried to get free forever, and then just accepted its fate. Like, well, can't get loose. And as it grew and got older, it was still trapped in its mind, to where after a while they removed the chain and just put a little rope around it. Anything on the ankle made them think, it's useless. Only knowing if they would have just pulled one more time, they'd have been free. Slaves in the mind. And that's what they have going on when they pump this garbage into the black community and into the minds of young black men and all across the country. Black people are this and that. They can't vote. They don't know how to go and get IDs, and they're disenfranchised and all of that. All of that. So let's go ahead and let him finish up the last words before we go.
And so black people heard that speech and said that we were not free here in America. And we make our children recite that speech every single year on King's birthday. And they say in that speech, the Negro is still not free. Yeah. George Floyd was a slave in his mind. And the civil rights movement caused him to be a slave in his mind. And today they're still marching, 60 years later, telling black people, you're not free. Yep. Beg for reparations. Beg for affirmative action. kill your children in the womb, cut off your child, you castrate your children, let drag queens come into school and shake their behinds in your children's faces, run God out of the public square, and then they end up like George Floyd. But the one thing they do consistently is they vote for the Democrat Party, and the places where George Floyd's live, they stay in absolute power.
Ooh-wee! That was hot. That's exactly the strategy that they use. And all you got to do is step back a little bit from all of the narratives of racism and all of that stuff and just look at it. Observe it from afar and say, wow, I'm seeing some parallels here. Mostly black ran areas are ran by Democrats, inner city areas. Yeah, ran by Democrats. And what is the message that these Democrats keep telling the black people? You're still in the struggle. You're not free. If you only realize that, man, wait a minute. God gave me freedom. I ain't got to go to any of these people. What are you talking about? Unless folks are busting in my house, throwing me on the ground, taking away my physical freedom, the rest is all here. The rest is all there. And the Democrats got a complete stronghold on a lot of these black communities' mind. And that's why they vote for them like 90%. But hopefully that'll change. And I'm going to do everything I can to make it. Boy, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't going to let up not one bit. They're going to have to suppress my channel down to 3 people. And I'm still going to be dropping massages all over the place. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for checking out the show tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, share my videos. Follow me on all the other social media platforms, including my alternative channel, which I'm going to be uploading some stuff tonight. I'm going to be uploading my recent... I call them storyboards. In other words, all the clips that I put for one particular live stream, just condense them and put them right on over there to that channel. So you have them as just points of references, things like that. I'm going to do that on that channel. But then I'm also going to be chopping up some of the clips that are taken from the live show so I can put it on this channel and, isolate it so people who don't want to watch a whole hour and a half or whatever of a show, they'll be able to just go to that small clip. So anyway, please continue to share my videos and follow my other channels and outlets that I'm on, like Rumble. Please subscribe to Rumble. And what else? My fundraiser. I can't forget about that. So please, if you can or want to do my little $5 fundraiser a month because of exactly what I just mentioned, YouTube. They don't like messages like this. And please stay in touch with me by texting MAGA to this number 330-947-4607 so we can stay connected. Thanks. Somebody said, Kev, you the GOAT. Oh man, y'all, you know what, man? Y'all be busting me up sometime, for real. I really, really, really appreciate all the support. And somebody also sent me a mailbox blessing, and I want to, let her know. Thank you. You know who you are. And it was a gentleman and a lady, I think. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. It all goes to good use. All right. So now let's get ready to get out of here, man, because I got to be right back here tomorrow at 7. Be there or be square. Yup. I know you see the 8s. I know you see the wins. Yeah. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.